Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back for episode 7 of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved. Last episode we started a little bit on the magic side of things with a simple Botania setup, and today we're going to kind of completely go back a little bit and do a bit more tech, because there is one more thing that we need to set up before I consider the tech side kind of done for the early game, and that is to get a fully automated ore doubling system up and running, and that's exactly what we're hopefully gonna get done today. And to do that, we're gonna start by making the rock crusher. Now, the reason why we're making the rock crusher and not something like the pulverizer is because if we look at the recipe for a pulverizer, as we showed earlier in the series, the recipe for a machine frame has been changed to require crushed obsidian, which is made in the rock crusher. Now, it just so happens that the rock crusher also can be used to double ores, so if we're gonna need crushed obsidian anyway to make a pulverizer, we might as well just skip the pulverizer altogether and use the rock crusher. And also, if we look in the little book, we look at tech tree and we look at machinery, right down at the bottom, Feed the Beast do recommend that you make a rock crusher because it's kind of required to make a lot of the later tech stuff in the game. So, if we go ahead and type in rock crusher, it is a multi-block structure. It's a 3x2x2. So, I think that means we need about 3 sets of this recipe here, which means we're going to need 12 diamonds, 12 pistons, 3 blocks of steel, which is a flipping heck of a lot of steel, but I have gone ahead and made quite a bit since the end of last episode. We have 17 in there, and I'm fairly certain that we have 10 more in this chest here. We do. We also have quite a lot of diamonds, which is good. Let's grab some iron and some redstone, and I think that's actually everything we need to go ahead and make the rock crusher. So, we'll come over here, we'll make ourselves a bunch of pistons once we have some oak wood. We do in fact need 12, so I will take all of those, and then we will go ahead and make the blocks of steel like so, and that should get us the rock crusher. Nice. So for symmetry's sake, I'm going to build it in exactly the same place that I built the blast furnace on the other side, and it's going to go here, 1 2 3 by 2, not there, by 2 like so, and then once we fix this little block here, kaboom, it should make a multi-block. Yeah, look at that. It's all connected up at the top, and it should now work. Nice. So, this thing does, much like every other machine in the whole entire world, require redstone flux to run. And so, what I've gone ahead and done is I've thrown a little bit more gold into the smeltery, because my plan is to make a few more of those hobby steam engines that we made a couple of episodes back, because those things are pretty good, especially compared to the survivalist engines, which are good, but produce a really, really small amount of redstone flux per tick. They produce 5, which is not, like, terrible, but it's kind of terrible. So, instead, we're going to go ahead and grab myself some gold gears, and we're going to make 1 or 2 more of those. That's also going to require a little bit more water. We should probably invest in some kind of unlimited water source nearby. And speak of the devil, look at this. We have one right here. I did move the Petal Apothecary since the end of last episode, just so we don't have to walk backwards and forwards whenever we want to use it. And with that, we should be able to just put water into this guy, add some fuel in the form of, I guess, oak for now, and that should start to work. It does require a lever, of course, so we will go ahead and grab one, because I think we have a few lying around in here, if I am not mistaken, which I am not. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and stick that down right on the back there, and that should start to power this guy, which, again, should be able to then start to crush down obsidian and double ores. I will go ahead and stick a piece of iron ore in there just so we can kind of test if this works, but the next thing we are going to have to do is actually start to crush some obsidian, because the next piece of machinery that I would like to make is the Redstone Furnace. That's this guy over here. And, of course, again, it's exactly the same problem as making the pulverizer, in that the machine frames are now harder to make. The rest of the recipe is exactly the same. Copper gears, bricks, the coils, and the redstone are all easy enough, but the machine frame is a bit of a different story. This thing requires 2 crushed obsidian, a basic circuit, an iron chipset, a tin gear, and then a dense refined iron plate, which needs, again, 9 of this footprint steel, which means we're going to have to put even more stuff into the blast furnace over here. So let's put just, I guess, 8 more iron in there. I think we need 9. Let me grab 1 more real quick. And this room, I like the dome, but it is really big. It takes quite a while to walk from one side to the other. We really need to invest in some kind of like boots, I guess, or maybe just some kind of armor that lets us move faster. We will work towards that definitely very, very soon. Are you working? It is working. If we put iron ore in there, you'll see it's very slow. And it did run out of redstone flux pretty much instantly. That's because this guy right here is only producing 10 redstone flux per tick right now. But now that we have that second gold gear, what we should be able to do is grab a little bit more gold and make ourselves a second hobbyist steam engine. All we need is a piston and some glass. We are not quite there on any of that because we need a bit of cobblestone and we need a bit of oak as well. We could do with a little bit of, I guess, like a nearby mine of some kind, because the closest bit of cobblestone, again, it's not too far away. It's like right over here by this meteor from Applied Energistics, but it's still a little bit of a trek to get all the way over here, and I can't believe that cobblestone is still being an issue to us this late into the game. It is kind of crazy, but nevertheless, let's head back over there, and then we should be good to go to make the hobbyist steam engine. Boom! A second hobbyist steam engine, which we can then go and again put down right behind here. And what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to go away. I'm going to fill this guy up with water and fuel as well, so this thing can actually start to run. And what I'm going to have to do is, A, wait for this steel to finish doing what it's doing, because it's taking forever. And also actually go ahead and make some more charcoal, because that machine doesn't half burn through charcoal when it's making that steel. And also what I will go ahead and do is, before we go away, let's grab another chest from over here. We actually have quite a few chests kind of just sitting around. Let's stick that on top of this guy, the assembly table, and let's start making the iron chipset, because we know for a fact that that's going to take a while. So machine frame, we need an iron chipset, which is just iron and redstone. It's really not that hard to make whatsoever. But we know it's going to take us like 4.5 billion years to finish, because the survivalist generators are very, 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 very slow. And you'll notice I also do have enough gold in the smeltery for 2 more gears. So what I will probably do as well is make another hobbyist steam engine and stick it in here, just so we can actually speed things up a little bit. These guys both have no power whatsoever, which is not a good sign. I might have to go out and do a bit more tree chopping just to get some more fuel for these two. So I'll put you there, and we'll put you there. And you'll also notice that these guys right now, I kind of just, they were just placed there and there for symmetry more than anything else. They should really kind of be next to the lasers. And these ones look like they actually have, that one has quite a bit of power in it. I like it. Let's put that there and there, and this one should speed up quite a bit while it takes down this power here, and that might actually be enough to kind of speed this up a significant amount. But the other thing that we're going to need, and again one thing we could probably make before we cut away, is the basic circuit board, which is made in the carpenter, which requires some redstone and some tin. Now, I think we talked about the carpenter a little while ago, but never actually made one, and the way we make a carpenter is, I believe, with these Bronze-Gees. I think that's why they're in the smeltery here. So let's have a look at the carpenter. I believe it's just a ton of bronze. It requires 6 bronze, 2 glass, and a sturdy casing, which is made using 4 bronze gears and 4 extra bronze. Okay, so a little while later, I've made a bit more bronze. I just put a ton of copper and tin into the smeltery. We now have 32 ingots worth in there, which is pretty good. I also went ahead and made a little bit of an unlimited water source over here, just so that we could go ahead and fill up these hobbyist steam engines without having to run all the way out to the Botania section and back again. And then once that's done, we are going to need the ingot cast to grab, I think it's the 10 bronze ingots we're going to need, which is actually quite a lot of bronze ingots. Jeez. I also went ahead and added some more fuel to the survivalist generators. These guys should be well on their way, and that actually doesn't look like it's going to take too much longer. And then also, I just kept adding fuel to this, because this guy over here is burning through charcoal. It's crazy. And also taking forever to get those 9 steel up and running. So now we've got all of our bronze. All we gotta do is head back over here, and we should be able to make ourselves a carpenter. So we do need 1 more piece of glass, which is fine because we do have a little bit of sand lying around over here. Let's throw that into this furnace maybe. Oh, we have a little bit of charcoal there. That's cool. Let's take all of that and all of that, and let's put 1 more in there just to get those other 2 smelted up, and then let's put the other 5, I guess, right back into the blast furnace over here, which again is almost burnt through it, and it's taking forever. Oh, it's so slow. We really need to work on getting ourselves a coke oven so that we can make ourselves coal coke, which lasts so much longer in the blast furnace than normal coal or charcoal does. But there we go. We got ourselves a carpenter, which we can then go ahead and place down really wherever we like. Now, I'm not quite sure what the like, speed of this thing is. I'm going to put it there just because it's in between these two power sources. And then, as I showed before, if we go back to machine frame over here, to make the basic circuit, we need 6 redstone and 1 tin. So, let's head back over in this direction. Again, taking 4 minutes to cross the room. Let's grab ourselves. I'm just going to take a bunch of redstone and all that tin there, just in case we need any more in the future. And then all we got to do is lay down the pattern in this top section here. So we want redstone, redstone, and tin. Notice it doesn't take it off me. And this time we want to make sure we put the right number of items into this bottom slot here. Once we have 6, it should start to work eventually. Now, it does look like it needs some water, maybe. Let's have a look here. Does it require water? It does. That is fine. It says 1,000 millibuckets, which is exactly 1 bucket's worth of water, so we should be able to do this. Also, I did put quite a bit more iron in here, and this is kind of nicely working its way through. It is really, really slow, but it's working its way through, and it's getting the job done. We could have automated ore doubling using the smelt tray. The only problem with the smelt tray is that lava is a lot harder to come by than things like oak and coal and stuff like that. So automating this would be a lot harder, especially with the recipe changes to things like pumps and things like things that transfer fluids across dimensions. So like getting lava from the nether doesn't really work anymore. It does work, it's just very, very hard to do. So doing it that way is definitely a lot easier. And that was actually incredibly easy. I thought it was going to take so much longer. We also have this now as well, which is fantastic. You can get the heck out of here. I know we both have crowns, but that does not mean that you are welcome in my dome. That is not how this works. We also need to go and make ourselves 2 crushed obsidian. So let's put both that in there. I think 1 piece of obsidian does get us 1 crushed obsidian and 1 obsidian dust. And once that's done, we're pretty much there. We need that dense plate, which requires the steel. We are going to need 4 tin, which we already have. Look at that. I'm so prepared. So let's take you and let's take the gear cast that we don't have. Where the heck did I put the gear cast? The answer is, I didn't put it anywhere. It's right there in my inventory. So let's grab a little bit of that tin gear, and then we're kind of just going to have to wait for this to finish. It has 8. We need 1 more. We need 1 more. And I don't think that this 2 charcoal is going to be able to do it. If you don't mind, I just need to quickly, thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. It is very much appreciated. Also, a little bit of lag, that's fine. Get the heck out of here. Someone did suggest, actually, that we put a garage door onto our thing here. And I actually think that's a kind of a good idea. That's a plank and a bunch of sticks. I've never made these before. So I have no idea how these work. Also, we did just use all of our oak on making charcoal for the furnace, so we don't really have much. We do have quite a bit of spruce, though. Like I said before, I was going to make the floor out of spruce, but I found a bit, but this is nowhere near enough to make what I wanted. So let's do, oh my god, baby zombies are the worst. Get out of here. Jeez. Okay, let's take all of that, and then let's do this. I guess it's like 1 carpenter's block, right? Is it this? That gets us 5. Then let's do a few more. Let's do this again and that. That gets us another 5. And then what's the recipe for this? It's just like a bunch like that? Okay. Again, not quite sure how these work. I think you put them on like that. Okay. That works. Now the question is, how in the world do I actually activate this? I think it's a lever. But again, I'm not quite sure where the lever has to go. Can I put it like just here? Oh, look at that! Look at that! And I also think, if I'm not mistaken, let's quickly, first of all, eat some of this raspberry juice. But, if I'm not mistaken, like with most things within carpenter's blocks, I think that you can actually color that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some dark oak, because that's the color of our floor here. And I'm going to see if we can actually color it as if it's like a dark oak door. Oh, we can! Look at this! Look at this! Oh, it's... Well, I mean... It's not too bad, right? I mean, it works. It works, and I like it. We have a door. The zombies should no longer be bothering us. That is fantastic. Is this done? Oh, it's not. It's so close. So close. So we're going to have to go outside and grab a little bit more wood. Actually, let's go to sleep. I think there's only me and one other person on the server, so we should be able to actually go straight to sleep. And a little bit of charcoal later, we now have 9 steel ingots, which is exactly the amount that we need to make ourselves our first machine frame. So, what I've got to do now, because all of our industrial craft machines are still all the way back on the old island, I've got to make my way all the way over here and stick all of the steel into the metal former. And also, there's quite a lot of of bases popping up around the place now. I should probably go check those out at some point. I have checked out this one here, which is kind of just, I guess, a bit of a temporary base. But there's also some pretty cool-looking buildings appearing in the distance there, which I very much want to check out. Do we have any fuel in here? Please tell me that we do. We do not. That is fine. Let's put all of you into the metal former so we can roll all of those into plates, and we can press all those plates up into a dense plate. Hopefully, oh yeah, there's nowhere near enough fuel in there to make all of those plates. So, again, I'm going to go away. I'm going to grab a little bit more fuel in the form of wood, and I'll be back in a second. And once we've got all 9 of our refined iron plates, we can go ahead and stick those into the compressor, and that should go and compress it into a dense refined iron plate, at which point we have everything it takes to make the machine frame. Now, the only problem is that the machine frame takes 400,000 redstone flux in order to make it work in the assembly table, which is twice as much as the iron chipset. So this thing is going to take a flipping heck of a long time to actually make. And why did you... Oh, you're finished. Good. I'm going to say, I was wondering why that stopped then. I got a little bit worried. But what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and put all of that into the assembly table. And while the assembly table's working on that, I will go away and try and gather all of the other components that we need to make the actual redstone furnace. And yeah. So, we're going to throw in the iron chipset, the dense iron plate. We're going to throw in the basic circuit. We're also going to need that tin gear, which is it still over there? It is. It's still on the floor. We will take this. I believe the obsidian is also done. So, I will take both of those. Thank you very much. We'll stick all of that in here, and that should be enough to make the machine frame. Nice. So that is going to take about 400 million years. So let's take that away. I don't want to make that. I want to make this. I want to make the machine frame. All right, let's let that do that. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to let this finish. It seems to be going fairly quickly, which is nice. Oh, these got a nice little backup power. Oh, that's really cool, actually. That might finish a lot quicker than I thought it was going to finish. But I'm going to go away. I'm going to grab all of the stuff that we need for the redstone furnace. That being the bricks, the copper gears, the reception core, which is just redstone and gold, as well as a piece of redstone. And I'll be back in a second. Alright, so a little while later, the machine frame is finally done. I've gone ahead and smelted up a little bit of clay into brick, which should allow us to go ahead and do something like this, get us the 2 bricks that we need. We can then go ahead and craft up the reception coil, like so, at which point we pretty much have everything we need to go ahead and do something. Boom, boom. And copper gears is the final thing we need. I've gone ahead and made quite a bit of copper in the smeltery because there are a few of the things that we do have to make before we can actually get the fully automated ore doubling system up and running once we have the redstone furnace down, which we should be able to do if it doesn't take 400 years for the gear to make. So, back over here, boom, 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 and we have a redstone furnace. Finally, that took way too long to make, but it is finally done. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this down right about there. Now, you might be thinking, Isaac, that's a pretty weird place to put a redstone furnace. Why didn't you just put it on the floor? And the reason for that is because I now need to pump all of the stuff, like all of the crushed iron or crushed copper or crushed tin, whatever it is, out of this rock crusher into the redstone furnace so that it can then go into a chest as a fully smelted ingot. So, the way we're going to do that, originally, I was going to use item ducts. I thought item ducts will be easy. We can just make them. It's just like some really easy stuff. It'll be simple. Turns out it's not the case. It turns out that to make item ducts has been made much harder. Both the opaque ones and the transparent ones both require hardened glass, which requires an induction smelter, which is another machine frame, which I do not feel like making right now. So, instead, we are going to go back to our good old friend Buildcraft, and we are going to make ourselves some wooden transport pipes, at least for the time being. They should get the job done, even if they're not all that fast. So, for that, we are going to need a little bit of glass. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to need 2, because we need 1 for the actual pipe itself, and 1 for the engine that we're going to use to move the stuff. So, if we go over to Redstone Engine, this guy over here, to make this also requires a basic circuit board and some more copper gears, which is why we have so much copper over in here. So let's throw that back down. Let's get a little bit more stuff in there. And then, once we have both of these, I think we're pretty much good to go. It does require a sticky piston. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we do have a little bit of slime over here. Thanks to the fact that our, is it in here? It's there. Okay, cool. Thanks to the fact that our hammer it has a slimy stick, basically what that means is that when we go through and strip mine down at the lowest levels, every so often, slime balls will drop, and we'll actually get to pick those up, which is kind of nice. It wasn't something that I was aware of when I made the hammer, but it was a nice little thing we found out during the live stream. We actually got quite a bit of slime from it, which is pretty cool. So, that gets us a wooden transport pipe. We're then going to need another one of these basic chipsets, which should be fairly easy to do over in the carpenter. I don't know if the carpenter actually requires power or not. Judging by how fast we made the last chip, I don't think it does, but I'm not 100% sure. What did someone just say to me there? It says, I've had so much on your server. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm glad. Good. Okay, let's throw this water into the carpenter. That should pretty much instantly finish that up, which is nice because it doesn't take forever for these things to get made. The sticky piston should be fairly easy. Let's see. We'll go and make another one of those once we've got a little bit more oak. You'll be surprised, like oak and cobblestone are like the two things that I just never ever have anywhere near enough of. It's crazy. Anyway, I think we are pretty much there. We will take our basic circuit and we will make ourselves, once we get some more oak, a redstone engine. Nice. Okay, so what we need to do now is let's go ahead and stick down the wooden transport pipe right about there. I did this in a single player world, and for whatever reason, it likes to put this Dotty Pasta says hi, everybody. For whatever reason, this side of the wooden transport pipe, the side that we actually want over here, wants to be over here all the time. It's a little bit of a pain, but not too hard to fix. All we need to do to actually fix that is get ourselves a wrench, which again is fairly easy. We just need some gears, which with the cobblestone and wood that we already have should be fairly easy. Boom, 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 boom. Surround that with some cobblestone and get ourselves a wooden gear, at which point we can then combine that up with a little bit of iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it was. Actually, it's probably 3 now I think about it. We'll put that there, there, and there. That gets the wrench, and then all you gotta do is just right-click on this guy. And there we go. It switches around. Nice. It doesn't require a lever or any kind of redstone signal to work. Like, I can't reach up there. Like so. There we go. And then we can go ahead and break this chest. And now, anything that we put into the rock crusher here, for example, I don't know if we can put these things in this side, we can't, but anything that we put into the rock crusher here on the left-hand side, so let's just take like quite a bit of iron and stick it in over here. If we have fuel in our hobbyist steam engines, which currently we do not, but if we put stuff, I probably shouldn't use charcoal in there, because we use the charcoal for the blast furnace. I completely forgot the name for a second. We'll put that in there. I'll take both of those. We could then do with another hobbyist steam engine for the Redstone Furnace. So for that, we do have some more golden ingots in here. We can make 2 more gold gears and then hopefully make another hobbyist steam engine. But then we run into a bit of a problem, and that problem is fuel. Because right now, we've got quite a lot of engines. We've got a few hobbyist steam engines, and we've got a few survivalist generators over there, all of which require a fair bit of fuel. The survivalist generators not included, because they like last forever on their fuel, which is fantastic. But especially in terms of things like the hobbyist steam engines, we need a decent source of fuel that's going to last for a decent length of time. So what we're going to probably have to start working on in the next couple of episodes is a renewable source of fuel, whether that be wood, coal, charcoal, anything like that. We're going to need a renewable source of it for it to continue to work. Let's just take some spruce out of there to make our piston. Thank you very much. And then we should be good to go. Nice. I like it. Let's throw that down directly underneath of this guy. Like so. It does, again, require a lever, so let's just take this, and I'm hoping I can put it behind it and it will still work, although I have not tested this. I think that should work, but I guess we'll find out. Then let's just quickly fill these guys up. Oh, you're already full with water. These things they last a long time with the water that they have. They don't burn through water that quickly, which is pretty nice. And then let's just put you in there. And there we go. That is actually working. That is fantastic. These will very, very, very slowly work through all of the iron that we have and stick it into the redstone furnace and then smelt it up. And one way that we can automate this just a little bit more is, of course, with a hopper. So Let's get a little bit of that. We still have a chest on us, good stuff. We might as well craft on the floor because why not? So, apparently the reason you don't craft on the floor is because it can cause your game to crash. So, instead, we're going to walk the 2 steps over to our crafting table, make ourselves a hopper, and that pretty much finishes up our setup here. So, why? Oh, we didn't set this up right. We need to put this to blue on this side. That is why all of this stuff is being thrown on the floor when it should, in fact, be in there. And there we go. Cool. Alright, so you can see, while we're offline, the thing does actually work quite nicely, thanks to the fact that there are other people on the server keeping this thing running. And then all we gotta do with this, basically, is put it anywhere on the top there. And then we can put our ores in, and that should work perfectly fine. We can put a chest on top of that if we wanted a bit more space. But for now, I will just take things like gold, and maybe some silver and lead, and a bit of tin. And I'll stick all those into this hopper. And they should slowly go through and get processed as time goes on. There's also quite a lot of space inside the rock crusher. You can see there's a 3x3 grid here of slots so you can put stacks of ores in. So there's actually quite a lot of space within the rock crusher, which is pretty nice as well. But yeah, with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode there. Next time, or very soon in the next couple episodes, we're going to have to figure out a way of getting a decent source of fuel, because otherwise we're going to spend a flipping heck of a lot of time cutting down trees or mining for coal, which I really don't want to do. I want to get a nice automated way of getting all that stuff set up. I'll also probably continue on with a little bit of the magic side of stuff as well in the coming episodes. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit like. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.